Hello everyone. All right, let me get situated here. Okay, we're a little bit crooked. I'm gonna move you. Ooh. Let's see if that helps any. There we go. Okay. All right, let me find me on my iPad here. There I am. There I am. Okay. Hey, Betty's on. Hello, Betty. All right. Whew, it's been a hot minute. Or 7. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this live thing. Whew, it's been a while. All right, so thank you for all for watching. Today is the video to show you how to do my June, I know it's August 2nd, my June thank you card kits. July was just a blur of a month, and yeah, this is really the first time I've been home long enough to do a video or not sick. So yay, I'm back. All right, I just got home yesterday from a trip. It was a lot of fun. Went and saw Betty, made pickles. Went to the Mall of America. That was fun. And then went to Mason City, Iowa to see the Music Man Square, which I'd seen before, but my friend Katie hadn't, so it was nice to see that with her. And we just had a lot of fun. Nice girls trip. So, but we're home now. Woohoo! All right, so let's get started. Oh, hey, Keisha. So let's get started with my card kits. Now, if you didn't get a card kit, that is okay because I'm going to tell you how to make this card, every single measurement. This isn't like some secret or something. So June was my birthday month, and I just sent out card kits to anyone who placed an order with me in June. So that is what this is. However, that doesn't mean you can't make this card using absolutely anything you have at home. All right, so we're going to start with a piece of old olive, and it's just our basic card here in America, which is 8.5 by 4 1/4. I'm sorry, 8.5 by 5 1/2, scored 4 1/4. Let me grab my bone folder here. All right, there we go. And there we go. So nothing fancy yet. So this beautiful paper I'm using today, let me grab it. I did forget that. It's right behind me. Is this one, I believe. Let's see. Is it this one? Is it Floral Impressions? Yes, it is Floral Impressions. I love this paper, especially this piece is my absolute favorite. I believe it's an online exclusive, so you can get it at stampinup.com. Speaking of news, August 5th, there will be lots new things added to the last chance list. So, yeah, I plan on making, hopefully, a pretty sizable order that day. All right, so this has got lots of beautiful colors in it. This measures 4.5 by 3 3/4. 4.5 by 3 3/4. Now, I know that's kind of a weird size because we're going to cut it. Okay, so let me show you how to cut it. We're going to cut it into 3 pieces at 1.5. And keep them in order because you're going to want to put them on your card in the same order. Now, honestly, if I had liked the other side of this piece of paper, I might have turned the middle one over. I'll show you what I mean by that. That's all the cutting you need, so you can put that back. So if I really liked this other side and I thought it went well with this piece, I might have been fancy and like flip that, but I don't like that. So I'm not going to do that. All right, so in your card kit, or you can cut one yourself, this is, just checking just to make sure, 5 1/4 by 5. Nope, hold on, let me say that again. 5 1/4 by 4. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on this piece of paper. Sorry, I have a little bit of a frog in my throat today. Okay, so we're going to start with the 2 edges. We're going to get them equidistant, top, bottom, and side on both ends. Okay, forget about that one for now. That's your first objective, okay? There you go. So let's get out some glue and stick those down. So hopefully all of you are having a good day. I don't normally do lives on Tuesday or on Sunday. I can't talk. I just gonna stop. Okay, I don't normally do lives on Saturdays, but I'm thinking I might need to switch to Saturdays. The musical I am music directing and assistant directing starts. We have auditions in 2 weeks, and you know what? I'll be at rehearsal literally every single night until Thanksgiving. So I might just need to do Saturdays. I will have some rehearsals on Saturdays too, though, so we will see. Okay, so right now I have glued those strips, and they again are 1.5 wide. And here's my last strip. You with me so far? Now I'm going to look at the top, and I'm going to look at the bottom, and then I'm going to look. This is a little bit more than the space around the tops and the sides, and that is exactly what I wanted it to be. Okay, so there's a little more room in here, and that is okay. So let's glue that one down. When you're gluing strip cards like this, it's always good to do the outsides first and then the middle one. There we go. If it's not perfect, I'm not going to care too much. There we go. Are you with me so far? Okay. Now, we're going to put that on the front. But first, I did put some retired old olive ribbon. So whatever ribbon you like, you could just use a white, you could use a yellow, whatever you have. I'm going to put it not quite center, just below center. And I like to do this with glue dots. Now I am realizing I made a mistake. Do you know what mistake I made? Anybody paying attention? But I'm going to go with it because I like it. I'm not going to use I do have one more card kit. Speaking of one more card kit, there will be an opportunity to win these card kits at the end of this video. I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. So then I just wrap it around like this. There we go. All right, you know how I always make sure my ribbon is straight? See these lines on the grid? I always adjust as needed. There we go. And once I've got it straight, then I'm going to glue it. And as I'm gluing, I always make sure I put a little glue on the ribbon too. Well, if you haven't caught my mistake yet, this was supposed to be the yellow layer, but that's okay. Because it's light enough, this can totally go on the inside. So not a big deal at all. All right, let's do our stamping. So I'm going to be using Old Olive just because it matches my paper. You use whatever you would like. Let me show you the stamps I'm going to be using today. I love this set. It is an online exclusive. I loved the Happy Birthday font, and it fit my circle perfectly. So this is a 2-inch circle, and then this is 2 1/4. So it fit my circle perfectly. So that's what we're going to be using for the Happy Birthday, which I've got on a block here. And I always like to do a little test. Yep, okay. Especially if it's photopolymer. There we go. And then sometimes when your photopolymer sticks, you just take a little fingernail, boop, there you go. All right, so there's one. And then on the inside, which was supposed to be the white, but it's totally gonna work. It's totally gonna work. Not gonna worry about it. I am using this stamp from Beautiful Butterflies, Time to Celebrate. Got that on my block, and again, I'm gonna do a little test. All right. Not gonna worry that I'm stamping on yellow. In fact, I got a card recently. My grandmother just passed away, and I've gotten several sympathy cards, so thank you to everyone who has sent me a sympathy card. And a couple of them used a lighter color, not white, on the cards, and I thought that was interesting. Now, did I mean to do that right now? No, but I kind of like it, so we're gonna go with it. Then my last stamp we're gonna use on this one is from Textured Notes. This one right here. I love this stamp right here. And I thought it kind of went with the paper on the front. Okay, so I've got 2 stamps on one block for right now, but that's just because I had run out of my D blocks. Well, you know what? No, I'm gonna grab an extra D block. I have some from the kits. You know, when you get a kit, a lot of them come with a D block. So let me put it on there. It'll be easier to see. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna test it too. Okay. And in the corner, I'm going to do this, and then I'm gonna turn it and do that. All right? Then, while I'm at it, I'm gonna do the same thing with my envelope. in the corner. So I go low, I turn it, there we go. Love that effect. And I think that's all the stamping. Yes, that's all the stamping I have. And then I'll show you my prototype and you can see how, you know, I originally designed it, but I'm not hating this accident. Sometimes happy little accidents are happy. Glue that onto my matte layer. Then I'm going to get dimensionals, and what I like to do is place it where it's going to be over the ribbon so I can see where to put my dimensionals so it's not on the ribbon. And I'm going to use 4, 2 on each top and bottom. And then if you haven't seen me do this before, I like to use my pokey tool and I just stick it in like a check mark and check it up, just like that. And I think, yep, I put it over here. There we go. Let's go ahead and glue our insert in. And this insert, I believe I used Daffodil Delight. I think the paper said Lemon Lolly, but I liked Daffodil Delight better. It's whatever. You can do you. Oh, love it. Now, these little sparkles that also were in your kit, I'll show you where I got them. They are from the Low Profile Sparkle Dots. Or was it Darling Duckling? It might have been Darling Duckling. I don't remember. I made these quite a while ago. And then I left, and then I just got home. So I'm sorry. It's a yellow. Find the yellow that you think works best for you. I love these, so we're gonna put 3 of them on. I love Low Profile Sparkle Dots. They add sparkle to your card without glitter, and they're low profile, so they're not gonna cause bumps on your card. There we go. I'm gonna put the other one right up there. Throw this little piece away. Look at that. So it says happy birthday. Time to celebrate. Now let me show you the other one so you can see what it originally looked like. So feel free to make your card either way. So we've got this one that I made today with the yellow insert, and then this one that I made a long time ago with the white insert. So whichever you prefer, or if you're like me, you made a mistake and you just kept going because you know what, it looks just fine. Yes, I like both of them. All right, which one do you like better? The yellow matte or the white matte? You're coloring the doggy right now. I love it. This is the first I've used it, and I've literally just used the happy birthday, but I will be making Christmas cards with it, so looking forward to that. You know me and dogs. Yeah, had to have it. Had to have it. Okay, so that's the first card. All right, now the second card's a tiny bit more complicated, but not much. So don't worry, we'll get you through this. All right, let me put up my ink so it's out of the way. Let me get this one out of the way because we're not using it anymore. Let me go ahead and scrub. Yellow matte. Yeah, I do like, but you know what? I don't think the person who gets the white matte's gonna be like, ew. Nope, they're gonna be like a handmade card. Yep. Okay, the second one is one of my faves, one of my fave layouts. So if you've never seen this layout, I hope I'm teaching you something new. If you've used it and it's a favorite, I hope it inspires you to do this layout again. So again, same basic layout, except one thing. One score line makes this a fun fold. So I've got 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. That's that one. Then I also scored, it's really hard to see on the blue. This is Night of Navy, but I also scored at 2 1/8. We're gonna fold that back. All right, did I just put my bone folder up? Nope, here it is. All right, you might be able to hear my kitty. We were playing fetch before this. Yep, he's bringing me his little green ball. He brings me his ball, and then I'm supposed to throw it, and then he gets it and drops it at my feet. I've never had a cat play fetch before, but this cat is something, let me tell you. So that's Marvin. All right, so that is my card base so far. All right, let's show you the rest of my pieces here. This beautiful paper I cannot get enough of. Let me show it to you. It is called Floral Charm. Might be one of my favoriteest packs of paper we've had in a long time. This piece right here, let me find it, is my new favorite. You know what? I used it all. Never mind. I have a scrap of it. I have a scrap. I've literally used it all. It might be my new favorite color combination. I've never put Berry Burst with Early Espresso and Basic Beige. I can't get enough of it. It's so stinking pretty. Love this paper. It's called Floral Charm. All right. There we go. Okay. Yes, Betty made her cards. Good. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we go. So we have a matte layer, which I'm confident is this one this time. Amanda, put that one to the side. Don't use it. Don't use it. And what I've done is I had a piece of, let's see if I can figure out how it goes back together. Yep. Nope. Let's see, there's only two possible ways, right? Oh, they might not be matching. That's right. I just kind of grabbed a bunch. Anyway, I started with a piece of 5 by 3 3/4. And then I literally just cut it in half at 2 1/2. And we're going to flip one over. So if you're using two different pieces of paper, like two different pieces of paper from different sets, let me give you those measurements. It's 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. Okay. And you need two of them that complement each other. So we're going to do it like this is how we're going to do it. So let's get that over there. If you hear him, he is just playing with that ball all over this room and is knocking into stuff. So sorry if you can hear Marvin playing. He's having a good old time today. Alrighty, so we're going to do it like that. And we're going to do it like that. So what I'm doing is I'm combining one of my absolute favorite card layouts with a fun fold. Because I could completely add this. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, you want to see my mistake? See, there's not enough room. Quick, pick it up before it completely adheres. And we're just going to move it up onto this paper just a tiny bit. And no one will know, except for you, because you watched the video. See that? If you're like, oh no, there's not enough room back there. There you go. I just overlapped it a tiny, tiny bit and made it even. Okay. So normally my favorite card layout is this. I do that. I throw a ribbon over it and I put it on the front of a card front. Okay. With it tucked down. Okay. That's one of my favorite go-to card layouts. But because we're doing the Z fold, I can't wrap my ribbon around right here, or it would show up when you open the card. So here's my solution to that. I have another piece of Berry Burst and I cut it at 3/4 of an inch by 4. And it's going to go there, but I need to put my ribbon on it. And that way it hides the ribbon in the middle so no one sees that ribbon sticking on the back. Otherwise I wouldn't have this piece of this little strip, but I also didn't want people seeing my ribbon. Now, hey Marvin. Yeah. Isn't it like the saddest, pitifulest little meow? But that's his play with me. All right, now you don't want to pull it too tight because then your paper will bow. You don't want to do that. So what I do is I just lay it straight. Then I kind of give it like just a tiny bit more room. Then I fold it so it doesn't bow the paper. Okay. Then we're going to put some glue on it. I definitely put a lot on this ribbon, and I do put a lot toward the edge because I want it to be not falling off the card. All right, we're going to put it right through the middle, and you know what I like to do? I'll try to scoop my paper up, see if you can see. I put it on a line, and then I make sure that this is straight all the way across. And then, because it's glue right near the edge, I really do press it down real good for a while. Sometimes I even put a big block on it and just leave it and come back. But today I won't do that because that'll take forever. Now, I do have a little bit of glue just seeping out. So what I do is I use my pokey tool and I just do this and I wipe it off. And there we go. And now it's gone. Okay, so there's that. Next, we're going to put it on our card. So that way, see what I mean? When you open your card, you don't see the ribbon sticking on the back. Okay, you gotta really think about this. We're only gonna put glue on this part. But we also don't wanna put it too close to the edge because doesn't go to the edge. So I'm really going to think, I can put it close to the edge here, but I'm just going to do this on the rest of them. So not so close to the edge. There we go. We're going to center our card. There we go. Or center our card front. There we go. There we go. Now, time to do our stamping. And again, I have a 2-inch circle, and we're going to use that same happy birthday, except now we're going to do it in Night of Navy. And I did clean my stamp, but I always just like to double check just to be sure. Okay. I always like to do that just to be sure for good even coverage. Of course, you could make this into whatever you want. It doesn't have to be happy birthday. You certainly don't have to use what I'm doing. We are just going to use the time to celebrate. This is a portrait card this time though, so I'm going to have it this way. Time to celebrate. Anyone else a super messy crafter? I'm like all over the place, and that's just me. That's just how I roll. Okay, it's time to celebrate. I'll put that right up here, and then we're going to use this beautiful stamp from Charming Day. I love this stamp. I love this whole thing. In fact, the die we're using, this one right here, is also from this set, which I've got in another place, so I can't show it to you, but it's a beautiful die. All right. We'll go with that. All right, and that one's on this one. We're going to put it in the corner. And did I stamp off? Let me see. I might have stamped off. I'm not sure. Let me look at my sample. Yes, actually it's going to go to here. Okay, we're going to stamp off once. Then we're going to put it in our corner. Beautiful. And then we're going to do the same thing on our envelope. Except I'm not going to stamp off this time. And I'm going to put it in this corner. Perfect. Okay, so that is all the stamping you need. Okay, put that out of the way. Time for our gluing and our adhering. I want to show you how I'm going to do the die cut. All right, there we go. All right, so this die cut, absolutely beautiful. Oh, hey, Tony's on. Jan, hello. All right, look, we're going to, see this flower? We're going to basically cover it up like this. Okay, so that these just kind of curve around it. So I like to use my glue dots and my pokey tool, and I get a glue dot, and I just stick it on that flower anywhere. It doesn't really matter, just to get it adhered to it. And like that. Okay, good enough for me, okay? Now, I can go back, now that I've got it stuck a little bit, I can go back and see that I could use a few more glue dots just to keep it together. But the one just gets it stuck for a little bit. So I can put one right here on that leaf. There we go, that's probably enough actually. Yep, that'll be enough. Now, the tricky part to adhering this to this one, it's gonna go right about like that. Yes, that's how I want it. So I don't want to put my dimensionals where it's going to go over the ribbon, right? This is some retired Berry Burst ribbon from a long time ago, only because I didn't have any current Night of Navy that I actually liked, so for this card. There we go. So I'm just going to flip it over to remind myself to not put anything like in this area here. And what I've done is I took some dimensionals, and I've been cutting this one up a lot. Actually, I'm going to throw that away. Oh, hey, there's a train. Can you guys hear that? We live semi-close to train tracks, not too far away, but okay. So I'm just gonna I'm just using little ones. I'll put little ones on a few leaves. I do like to leave some loose just because I like the look. So here we go, just a few. And then sometimes, oh, these want to stick together. Sometimes I actually even cut them in half and put them in little places, but we'll see if this works for now. Then, before I take these backings off, I like to make sure that I didn't mess it up. Okay, yep, I did just fine. And then I find the trick for taking these things off of die cuts. So you need to hold the paper down. Hold the paper close so you don't accidentally rip off a leaf while you're doing this, okay? If you're going to use the check thing, okay? If you want to just use your fingers, not a big deal. But I hold it close to the paper. That way it doesn't really matter. It won't get ripped. There we go. Does that make sense? Okay. There we go. I'm going to straddle this. There we go. I love this die cut so much. There we go. Now, if you wanted to, you could go back and put some dimensionals under a few more if you want, but I think it's just fine. Now we need to put our middle on. And I'm going to show you something. You don't want to just stick it down. You don't want to do that. Don't press yet. Now set it in there. Think where you want it, but don't commit yet. Okay? I'll show you why. Because when this closes, I don't want any of my white showing. There's a tiny bit down here. So because I use glue, I can just kind of scoot it over a tiny bit, okay? There we go. Then I can press. Does that make sense? Okay, there we go. Those are my 2 cards from my card kit. So we have this one, which is a Z-fold. And again, we hid the ribbon so nobody can see it. I didn't feel that this one needed any bling because of this beautiful die cut and the little shine from the ribbon there. And the other one, grab it here, was this one here. And let me get the envelope. There we go. And that's what we did with the envelope for that one. Okay. So those were my thank you gifts for anyone who purchased from me in June. But now's your chance to win a card kit. I have 2 left. Well, 1 of each left. 1 of each left, okay? 1 of each. So I will mail this to someone. Here's what you have to type in the comments by today is Saturday. Let's say by Wednesday, August. Oh, I haven't changed my little calendar here yet. Let me look. August 6th, 2025. Let's say you have to type in card kit in the comments. If you would like to win this, just type in card kit. And then I will just search for the comments, and that would be great. So again, I apologize for kind of being off the grid for a little bit. July was not particularly, I mean, it was okay, but yeah, there's just a lot of craziness. My grandma passed away. I got COVID. It was just a lot. So that's why I've kind of been behind on my videos, but I'm hoping to start doing them weekly again. So, all right. So thank you all so much for watching. Just type in card kit if you would like to win a card kit in the mail from me, and I will gladly send you that. You have to provide your own stamps because I can't mail stamped images to you, but you can just have fun on your own. Oh, here's the die. There it is. It's sitting right next to me. This one right here. It's just so pretty. Such a pretty die. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy August, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay cool. Bye-bye.